But going back to the service your company provides, what exactly is it? Who are the people? What kinds of people contact you, and what do you do for them exactly? Could you give us more information on that?
Yeah, so it mainly falls into four categories, right? You can imagine a lot of large firms when they have a big overflow. Let's say they have a whole bunch of H-1Bs that they need to just pump out, that they just don't have enough people to do. Or let's say there's a few complicated RFEs, whether it's an L1 RFE, EB1A RFE, or a complicated family matter RFE that they just don't have the resource to handle, and the clients is getting really upset. Like, you got an RFE and it's already been a month and you haven't even told me about it. There's no
Yeah.
strategy, there's no meeting. Overflow, right? So that's the simple answer. Then there's the other side. There's solo practitioners that's venturing out into doing an EB2 or EB3 perm case for the very first time, or they got an L1 blanket. They've done L1 before, but now they have to do 10 L1s simultaneously. How do they go about doing that, right? And so solo practitioners or smaller firms that's going into an area that they don't know how to do, we jump in as of counsel to kind of help them out. And then there's other firms simply as a mailing service, right? As like a comprehensive FedEx mailing. Because let's say, let me give you an example of one we just did. L1 filing, it's about 800 pages. But do you know how many we have to do? The 800 pages that we have to put together, not just the brief, not just the forms, not just the wet signatures, all the exhibits, but we have to make two copies, right? Because you're filing in the US and then the other copy goes to the consulate. But it's not just two. The law office wants a copy, physical file. So we do a third one. The employer wants a copy, physical file to put on on doc, and the beneficiary wants one overseas. So we are making four copies, like about 800 pages each. It's a full day worth of work, right? And dedicated printer just to do that. A lot of law firms just don't want to deal with this, especially this past year with the priorities changing, right? A whole bunch of people, emergency 45, I need to file this within 3 weeks, a whole family of five. During COVID, when a lot of things were shut down, how can you pump out a 45 within 3 weeks for all of your clients because of the priority date change? There's an overflow. And so we were able to jump into the with the law firms that already have a relationship with us, and we were able to pump out all of those 45. So sometimes it's like just mailing package, something as simple as a 829 mailing package that's like 1,000 pages and you need to make 4 or 5 copies. The law office just doesn't want to do that. Or if they do that, there will be a liability because they might not do it until 2 months later, but they needs to be done right now. So there's case overflow, there's trying to do a case for the very first time, there's simple as mailing, or just a strategy session, right? Maybe you've already done these L1s over and over again, but this L1 RFE seems to be somewhat complicated. You never dealt with this particular issue before, and you want somebody to kind of give you a checklist and a guidance. Or maybe it's your first time doing a business plan for this type of industry, right? And you just don't know how to do it. So we kind of jump in and give the strategy session, and it's just a consultation between a lawyer and a lawyer.
What's interesting is the education component, where if someone's not done a perm, for example, and you can walk them through it, because it probably more than half the practice area has not done something and they're afraid or scared to go. It's one thing I've seen in immigration law. You can study a kind of case forever and know exactly what to do, but there's this massive hesitation internally unless someone is there to hold your hand and take you there. And you're like, I knew all this stuff, but I just need someone to confirm it. And having that kind of service is really a game changer, because it's hard finding someone who's going to put yourself out there. I mean, you have mentors you'll contact, and they can't look over the whole case. They'll just give you ideas here and there. But it's just a business where you're like, I'm here, you pay for the service, but I'm going to sit there and teach you how to do it. And I think that's a reinvestment in yourself, because once you do it once or maybe twice, then you have a whole extra business dimension that you could do. It could change your law firm. So that's incredible that you're doing that service.
Yeah, and it's so helpful because over the years, we've mentored and built up so many agencies and law firms over the years, taught them how to do complicated E2s, how to completely do an L1 blanket, and how to do an O1 self-petition. And then once we teach it and we share with them all the different strategies, and then they are able to take on more and more clients, and then they're going to face more and more issues, more complicated issues, and then they come back to us, and it becomes a very good partnership. And really, the truth is, every single firm and every single practitioner, they have their own clientele, their own market that not other people just can't touch, right?
Yeah.
The people they're going to go to them, they're not going to go to us or anybody else. And so it's most important to empower everyone on the ground all around the world, in Russia, in Singapore, in Japan, and teach them what you know. And so that when they becomes well established, then they have more of a need for you.
Now, in our previous discussions privately, I mentioned that not only do you do back house where like the lawyer will come in and talk with you, but sometimes the lawyer just says, you know, I want you to come up front and let them know we're working. And you guys actually have staff that directly is with the client. Is that still a service?
Yes. And the most important thing about this is we do it on their law firm's behalf. So we use the company email address that their firm provides, right? And so that way, all the client communication is still within that law firm. And the lawyer is CC'd on everything and they oversee everything. Most of the time, the people who choose this, either they've done it a million times, they just want to make sure that you're doing it correctly because it's a highly complex or a very difficult client that has a lot of different issues. And so you just need that customer service and a quick, within half an hour response to their big emails every single day. Well, their paralegal can't do that. Their own attorneys don't have enough time to deal with that. So they kind of just offload it to us. So we don't do it with our own firm's email account unless it's a pure referral. The law firm says, no, we don't even want this client anymore. We just transfer it over to you. Sorry, we don't practice in this area. We don't even want the liability. This firm knows how to do a 601 waiver really well. Please go and talk to them. Then we obviously take over and it will be our malpractice on the line with everything, right?